Hi everyone, my name is Miss Alexis Shirk, and today I'll be demonstrating an SIOP-based mini lesson using the learning strategy Advanced Organizers. My example will focus on 8th and ninth grade Family and Consumer Sciences class during a unit on nutrition and wellness. Advanced Organizers are tools that help students, especially English language learners, connect new information to what they already know. They can take many forms like KWL charts, which we'll talk about later on in our presentation, concept maps, or graphic outlines. In this example, my students are in grades 8th and ninth, and we're beginning a lesson on healthy eating and My Plate guidelines. For English language learners, this topic includes lots of new vocabulary like grains, protein, and portions. The Advanced Organizers helps activate their prior knowledge about food while providing visuals and structure to support comprehension. I chose this strategy because research shows that when students connect new content to their existing knowledge, they retain and understand it more effectively. Psychologist David Archbell developed the concept of advanced organizers to help learners make meaningful associations before instruction begins. In this SIOP model, this connects to the building background and comprehensible input and components, ensuring that ELLs have a foundation to attach new vocabulary and concepts. In FCS, this strategy is especially powerful because students come with personal experiences related to food, culture, and family meals, all of which we build on to teach nutrition. I just think it's super important because right now I'm pre-student teaching and there's always new things that I'm learning about students. So this would be a great activity not only to learn more about the student, but also their family background and how food plays a part in their culture. Description and example. Let's look at how this would look in my classroom. Before beginning the My Plate lesson, I give students a KWL chart, which I'll show an example in a moment. That's what I know, what I want to know, and what I learned. So it's broken up into 3 different sections. Students first fill in the know column by listing foods they typically eat. Then they fill in the want to know section. For example, how can I eat healthier lunches? After we explore the My Plate model, they return to the organizer and complete the learn section, which is new information like maybe half my plate should be fruits and vegetables, or um, I need to totally cut out this specific food in my diet that I can see popping up multiple times a day that I know is not benefiting me or a balanced meal. So this organizer not only builds background knowledge, but also develops literacy. Students are reading, writing, listening, and speaking throughout the activity. So right here, I actually have a KWL chart. Now you can customize this on your own. This is just one that I pulled from Google. But again, this works for every single classroom. So this is not just an FCS activity. You can use this in a science class, a history class, and it's really adaptable for different grade levels too. But yeah, also if you do have a younger grade level and maybe they're not quite able to form full sentences, they can do bullet points, or you can have them draw pictures, which I think is also a great idea. So now I'm going to model how I would guide my students through this activity. So I'd start by saying, let's think about what we already know about healthy meals. What kind of foods do we eat for lunch? Okay, I heard pizza, sandwiches, salads. Great. Now in the no column, write down those foods. As my students write those foods, I would just wait a moment, walk around the classroom, and greet every student and just ask them how the activity is going. And then I'd continue with, what do you want to learn about nutrition or healthy eating? So then students will share ideas, and I would write down key vocabulary words on the board and use visuals. And those visuals might be pictures of fruits, grains, and proteins, and this would just reinforce the meaning. Um, Finally, after the lesson on My Plate, we'd revisit the chart to fill in the learn section. This repetition helps students connect old and new knowledge, which is kind of the whole point of the SIOP model, is helping students to connect old with the new knowledge. Okay, so next up we have our objective and our standards. So the objective for this lesson is students will use an advanced organizer to identify prior knowledge and key vocabulary about MyPlate food groups. So this supports the Pennsylvania Family and Consumer Sciences Standard 11.3.3a. And that will explain how nutrition affects health and Common Core ELA standards. We also have a literacy one, and that is a part of engaging effectively in collaborative discussions. It also addresses several SIOP features, including building background strategies and interaction. So if you look on this slide at my two graphics, now I know on the right-hand side, the little graphic that has like the little drawn fruits and vegetables in it, that's not a KWL chart, but that is just a chart in general that you can use if you don't want to do the KWL chart. Maybe this would be better for like third, fourth, fifth grade, where they can actually color in their fruits and vegetables, and you can still do it a KWL chart, but maybe you want to shape it like a MyPlate or something. But MyPlate is just a really good website to reference for FCS teachers, but also can be used in other subjects like maybe science, if you're learning about different ingredients, fruits and vegetables, whatnot. And then below, the graphic that I have right below that one is what makes content comprehensible for ELLs. So I just really like this graphic because there's different things surrounding the SIOP model, and I think it lays it out in a beautiful way for educators to be able to understand, and also to be teaching your students at the same time of how we can best adapt and learn to every single student. Um, I think as teachers, it can be really difficult sometimes to know how we can best support our students. But to keep this model in mind just really gives us a foundation to build upon, and to know how we can better support our students in the classroom, in and out of the classroom. And I truly believe that starts with understanding where your students come from. And especially in FCS, that's important when it comes to learning about cultural backgrounds. Food plays such a great part in all of that. So to be able to understand what foods students eat, how much they're intaking, and then taking that information and that personal background behind students and teaching them truly how to have a balanced meal and what that looks like, because to every student the definition of a balanced meal may be very different. um, so it's really important to know how we can best support our students in that aspect. So my last slide here is just where I'm going to insert my video link and then my references. I believe it was in my second or third slide is when I referenced Arcible 1960, and that's the use of advanced organizers in the learning and retention of meaningful verbal material, and that's Journal of Educational Psychology. And then I also referenced by, I don't exactly know how to say the last name, but Voigt, M and short DJ, 2017, making content comprehensible for English learners in the SIOP model. Now, I didn't reference the graphics that I used, but I totally can in the discussion board when we post later. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you were able to learn something new about FCS, because I know it's not as common of a major, and kind of like what I'll be personally teaching this coming semester in full-time student teaching, and then after I graduate here in May, which is so exciting. And I will definitely be using the KWL chart for my students in the future. So, thank you, and I hope that you have a great day.